having a romance with President Woodrow Wilson. Hello and welcome back to the channel. My name is Taylor and today is going to be my December wrap up and talking about books for 2026. So in the month of December, I read 12 books. So this is a few less than normal, or I guess normal. I've been averaging around 15 books a month, and 12 books was more than enough for me. I felt so busy trying to get things done for Christmas presents, and now I can just be chill and enjoy the start of 2026. But today I just want to talk to you about the books I read in December. So if that sounds good to you, don't forget to give this video a like, subscribe to the channel for more content like this. Let's hop in. So the first book that I finished was Dead of Winter by Keelan Patrick Burke. So this book, I talked about it a little bit on my Instagram reels. I loved this so much. This is a bind up of short horror stories that the author Burke decided to send out in lieu of a Christmas card every year. Anybody who is on his email list, you got a short horror Christmas story. And I loved this so much. Some of the stories were a little bit longer, most were about 5 pages long, and this altogether was only about 80 pages. And it did take me quite a while to read. I didn't just sit down and plow through all the stories to get it over with. I really sat and savored these, and I loved Keelan Patrick Burke's writing style. I definitely want to check out more by this author. Next was The Christmas Tree Farm by Lori Gilmore. This is the Dream Harbor book 3, and I loved this one. We have Bennett and Kira, and they're both kind of grumpy. They're both very like type A, and I feel like some people would say like, oh, it's reverse grumpy sunshine, but honestly, I mean, he's a nice guy, but they're both just like these two traumatized people trying to be more healthy with love and self-sabotaging a little bit, but not like a ton, trying not to rely too heavily on another partner for happiness. I thought that it was just a really fun time. Honestly, the explicit scenes in this one also were the best of the 3. I felt like the connection was really there between the 2 of them, and I just thought it was such a fun and good time. Next is The Humanity Archive, Recovering the Soul of Black History from a Whitewashed American Myth by Jermaine Fowler. This book was really interesting in that it had a lot of history that was unknown to me. Like, for example, there is this misconception when students learn about slavery that the slaves were like without religion and they just were kind of putzing around not doing anything in Africa, which obviously is not true, and it feels so stupid to even say it like that, but it's hard because that's what students are learning. We're not taught to question it really either, but you know, there were plenty of people who were sold into slaveries, who were Christian, who were Muslim, who had other tribal religions, and also talking about how like most of Egypt were people of color, and just a bunch of really good knowledge that I feel like is a good way to help sort of prop up your American history or like your United States history, because this is probably a lot of what you're missing. Next is Downtown Owl by Chuck Kloisterman. I loved this book so much. This was my, I think, favorite book, one of my favorite books for 2025 for sure. This is about a fictional town of Owl, North Dakota, and it's following 3 different perspectives, and it's just these people living their lives. And I feel like Chuck Kloisterman did such a good job being in the heads of these people living in the small town, doing what they're doing, and it's always the same shit, different day. It's somehow like nothing happens, but everything happens. Wonderful, beautiful chef's kiss off to this one. But I've been talking about it a lot, so I don't want to harp on it too much. Next was The Memory Police by Yoko Ogawa, and this is about a fictional town where like things disappear so that the memory police will be like, okay, no more scrapbooks, or like no more books in general. And so then everyone will go and get rid of their books, and then in a couple days they'll just forget that books ever existed. I just wanted this book to be so much more than it was. It just didn't feel like there was a lot going on. There really wasn't like a solid plot, and it didn't feel like it had a direction. So I struggled with that one, but I do like Yoko Ogawa's writing, so I do want to read more by this author. This one just wasn't for me. Next was Bottom of the Pyramid by Nia Su. Nia Su was one of the original cast members of Dance Moms, and I loved Dance Moms growing up. I have a really hard time watching the show now, knowing like how much we know about what those girls went through, what their mothers went through, what some of the mothers put their daughters through. So it's really hard. I love the show, but as an adult I have a hard time like sitting down and watching it. But this is Nia's account of how it was being the only black girl on the show for a long time, how her and her mother kind of moved about in these spaces, and the exclusion that she dealt with, and how she went and made opportunities for herself, and how, you know, she's like, well, I'm grateful that this helped me, prop me up in these ways, but, you know, I didn't have to deal with this as a child. And I thought that it was a very well-rounded, very well-written, very introspective, and I thought it was great. Next was Uncanny, The Origins of Fear by Junji Ito. This is Junji Ito's, like, writing manga, sort of a little bit of advice, a little bit of memoir, a little bit of, like, how he came to write these stories, or, like, his inspirations. And that is not what I thought it was at all. So I don't want to judge this book based on my misplaced expectations, but I didn't enjoy it as much as if I had gone in with the proper expectations. I don't know what I thought. I think I thought it was like little short stories that he had written, but I mean, it was really cool. You got some early sketches of some of his most prominent works. I thought it was interesting enough, but it wasn't my favorite. Next is Charm by Tracy Wolff. This is the fifth book in the Crave series. I only have one book left. This one was very, very good, although it had a very rough start. This had a very, very rough, I think like first 15% of it, and then the rest of it went really, really well. It does kind of feel like it comes out of left field because this one is definitely the most different in the series. But I'm really interested to see how Tracy Wolff maybe like puts everything together in the sixth book. Next was Cat Gamer Volume 1 by Wataru Naratani. And I really liked this. I thought it was super, super cute. It's just about an office worker who adopts a cat. And this office worker in particular loves gaming. And so she equates raising this kitten and like training it as opposed to like being in a video game. I just thought it was really cute. There are 8 volumes in this manga series, and I do plan on finishing this series. Next was Women's Work, The First 20,000 Years, Women, Cloth, and Society in Early Times by Elizabeth Wayland Barber. I really liked this, although I do feel like at times it veered off. Like, I thought this was going to be a lot more about how we came to like knitting and crocheting and stuff, but the titular thing here is the first 20,000 years. So we weren't quite there yet. I thought this was a good history book, but it does kind of get a little dry at places. It's a good form of feminist history, or if you do like to crochet, knit, or weave, check this one out. See if you like it. Next is Storm by Uwe Lab. This is an eco-thriller about this gentleman who used to be a meteorologist on like a really big weather channel, and he gets canned for some sort of scandal. I don't remember what the scandal was. All of these really crazy weather events start happening, and he's like, that's sus. I think someone's controlling the weather. And we jump around POVs a lot. I didn't feel very thrilled by this. It's just, it's very sci-fi heavy. and it kind of gets into the weeds a little bit. I just didn't think it was for me, but it's definitely for someone. Like, I know that this can be, like, this is a pretty popular book. I think that this is just a genre that's, like, not super for me, and that's not really the book's fault. I think that if you are interested in something like this, definitely check it out. And then the last book I finished in the month of December was Hamlet by William Shakespeare. I did not read this Folger's classic, you know, Shakespeare library. I actually read a manga rendition of Hamlet, and it was really cool because, like, all of the dialogue that is in the play Hamlet was in this manga, which I felt like was a very good way for me to intake what was going on, so I could kind of see what the characters were doing and glean context from that. It was still an iambic pentameter, it was still, you know, Shakespeare, it was just Shakespeare, make it manga. And that was really cool. I checked that out from my local library, and I still obviously have this. I'm going to keep it. And they had the manga classics of Macbeth, which I'm going to be reading next. So now I'm going to go into a little bit of a TBR. I'm not going to be posting TBR videos anymore in 2026. I've just noticed that they don't garner a ton of views. So what I want to do is, in my reading wrap-ups, kind of talk a little bit about the books that I want to read in the following month. So I have 5 books here that I want to talk about just briefly. So right now I am reading Herman Melville's Moby Dick. I am on page 74, and I am loving this so much. If you actually want a classic with really short chapters, Moby Dick, it's so wonderful. I've been tabbing it up, and I've been annotating, I've been highlighting. It's just so wonderful, and not what I expected out of this book. And I'm reading Bird by Bird by Anne Lamott, Some Instructions on Writing and Life, and I'm not really enjoying this, unfortunately. It's just not what I thought it was going to be, but also I knew that it was a book on, like, how to write and writing, but, like, for whatever reason, Anne Lamott, she's giving me weird vibes. Something about this book, it's giving me weird vibes, and I don't like it. I'm going to finish it because it's on my 30 before 30, and I'll probably keep it afterwards because there's, like, some good advice, right? But something about it, I'm getting weird vibes. Next is Eric Larson's Deep Wake, The Last Crossing of the Lusitania. I'm having a hard time with this book. I'm listening to the audiobook. This is my grandfather's copy, and I want to be able to give it back to him next time I see him. But I just don't like this very much. I understand that, like, things in history don't exist in a vacuum, and so not only are we getting perspective of, like, things happening on the ship, but we, like, over half the book, we're not even on the Lusitania. It's all about World War I. We're getting a romance with President Woodrow Wilson. I'm just not vibing with it, but I'm vibing with it enough to finish it, but I know that it's not, like, it's not going to be a favorite book. I also have Devil in the White City, which is Eric Larson's book on Chicago, and now I'm like, oh no, is this author just not for me? That's going to be really sad. Hopefully it goes better. I thought I was going to like this more than I am, but we don't have much left of it, so we'll finish it. Next is A Story of Seven Lives, the complete manga collection, story and art by Shirakawa Jin. And this is about Nano, and Machi, and they are 2 stray cats that are just trying to exist as stray cats. And the beginning starts out, I believe it's the cat passing away, and they're, like, showing their lives. Oh no. And it's really cute so far, and I think that it's going to make me cry. So that's just that. And then the last thing that I have been reading is the Bible, which you're probably going to hear about every month. I just started the book of Exodus today, and that's, like, Moses, like, leaving Egypt, and then he's talking to God, and he's like, go get the Israelites, and Moses is like, no, not me, don't pick me, and God's like, do it. So that's where we're at in the Bible right now. I did start American Psycho. I'm on page 14 by Bret Easton Ellis. I am going to finish this. This is on my 30 under 30. It's just, as you can see, I have other books that have taken up my time, and that's just that. So thank you so much for watching today. Don't forget to leave in the comments below what books you'll be reading in January, or let me know what you read in December. Let's just talk about books in the comments. And please give this video a like and subscribe to the channel for more content like this, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!